What's this all really about? You don't usually make calls around this hour. Is the world ending today?
What about that?
Maybe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 4pixels. Coco and Kimi are here, and we are joined by Leifele from Cacophony of Games and Buttons. We're
Yes, we
continuing the
are.
letter.
E- 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 e. Do I read the line or?
Yeah, read it again.
Late as it may be for a snack, the familiar motions keep me occupied, steering my mind away from dangerous thoughts. Isabella's company is not unwelcome either. Whatever her reasons for showing up here at such an hour doesn't matter. I'll be damned if I just turn her away. Frazzled.
Frazzled?
Thank you.
Hmm.
As she is. I can say it.
It's okay.
The door clicks shut behind her when she finally enters, feet scuffling softly against the tiled floor. In all the years I've known her, she has never once lost her ever upbeat spirit. Yet in this particular moment, as she stands in my doorway, holding her arms close to herself, it's as if I'm looking at someone completely withdrawn from the person I've come to know all these years.
Do you want to drink or eat anything? I haven't restocked my food stash yet, so ingredients may be a bit limited. But I'm sure I can whip something up with what I have here.
Yeah, she's used to ramen. She'll take anything.
Just water with that, please.
Well, I mean, Kime, is that wrong?
I haven't eaten ramen in months, excuse you.
I am proud!
Wow, actually,
Wow.
that's impressive.
What? No additional food requests? That's new. I'll put something together for you anyway. Feel free to make yourself at home. You ain't exactly a new visitor here. Although my room's not at its most presentable right now. Sorry. New freelance gigs and such. Didn't have time to fix things up here lately.
It's okay. I don't mind.
Usually, she'd have something more to say about that. A quip, a witty remark to provoke a laughter or two. Nothing from her this time. Only a weak smile before she takes a seat on the couch, and a silence that stretches out until what we left hanging feels disconcerting. Before everything turns stifling and awkward, I continue talking, if only to keep the dead air at bay. How's one supposed to keep a conversation going when the person you're talking to is like this?
uh, anyway, gigs.
Geeks.
Can you believe this one client we got? Boss had all my scheduled shoots shifted after they caught wind of this couple buying a new property. Man, must be nice to have all the money in the world. The world itself moves for you, huh?
She's curled up on one side of the couch and hugging her knees close when I bring the tray carrying the sandwiches and the water she requested. She starts to straighten up as I am loading the contents, but pauses as soon as I hold up my hand in a halting gesture.
You're a guest. Didn't I say you're free to make yourself at home? Here's your water. Careful.
The tremor in her hands, though lighter now, still hasn't subsided when she reaches out for the glass. I give her a questioning look, but she is quick to avert her eyes, keeping herself occupied by taking a small gulps of water. Or maybe she just doesn't want me asking questions. Worrying. This sudden loss for words. This bout of quiet not normally present in our chats. Even the creaking of the old chair when I casually take the seat is a welcome break. Although the company is familiar, this has gone way past unnerving.
What happened? Overtime at work?
She doesn't answer immediately. Another gulp drains her glass of its remaining contents. One would think it will be enough to help her recover, yet she doesn't lose her taut grip on the glass as she cradles it on her lap. Her eyes take an unfocused gaze when she speaks again.
Yeah. Boss handed me extra work today. After what happened. To Rose.
Rose. Why do I feel like you've mentioned her before? Sorry, I'm better with remembering faces than names.
She was my coworker. That will take
Cut
some
back
getting
to that.
used
Oh.
to. I was just talking to her the other day.
Go back to that what?
Cut back to that scene a couple episodes ago where I'm going, who's Rose?
Oh God. Our mayor, well, his cat died.
Send him chocolate, quick.
That's the biggest tragedy we've heard.
I know, right? That is the biggest tragedy ever. It's just like, holy shit, no, the cat died. Poor
Who was
mayor.
Rose again?
I don't... What?
I was just... Who was Rose again? Doesn't matter that the lady died. The cat died.
Yeah, exactly. For a second I'm like, wait, seriously though, who's Rose? What?
Aww.
I legitimately forgot her name, so I was like, no, the cat.
Wow. Wow.
Wow, girls.
Was? Did she resign or something? I think I'm missing a few details here, Bella.
You've never met her. I think I did mention her once or twice. It doesn't matter. You probably heard her name recently from the news than me.
Something clicks then. A little memory from the night before. The bright red light from the dark room, the strong odor of the stove bath, the television's barely audible murmur in the background, and a glimpse of a bloody room.
Would they actually show that, though? I mean,
If
for the sake of...
paparazzi got it.
what? Like, I know it's probably just for the sake of a visual novel and the moment, but like I just can't imagine that on television they would actually show a scene of a murder that was that
I don't know
gruesome.
about in London or fantasy London, or Britain, whatever you want to call it. But I definitely know in the US, no, they wouldn't show that. Not on the news.
Well, actually, it depends on how late it is. Because I know that for some of the more sensationalized trials, they showed like fucking everything.
Like on the
O.J.
actual
Simpson trial?
news?
The late night news, not the during the day when children could potentially see it news.
Okay, because I mean, I know with like TV dramas and those, unsolved crime dramas and everything, they have no problem showing that kind of stuff. Usually it's dramatized versions of it. But like, I've not seen it like even on the late night news out here. So maybe it's just a Washington thing where they're like, yeah, we might have pictures of like the dead body torn apart on the floor, but we don't want to show that on national television.
I mean,
no need to give anyone nightmares here.
I live right
Enough.
outside of Philly. We were the murder capital of the world for like 4
That's
years.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know about news, but I remember they showed her They showed it in the game,
Yeah,
like on
yeah,
TV. Like they showed the room with all the help miss.
yeah. But that's why I was asking. I was just curious about how it was dealt with.
They might have shown, they might have allowed pieces of it to be shown if it was related to like, it kind of made it alluded that this was a known mysterious serial killer.
Yeah, the
That
Anselm
was his calling
Butcher,
card. Yeah,
which could
so
just
maybe
be the
that's why.
ghost. Um,
The news is everywhere, even in the morning that follows. I just didn't think its effects would strike someone this close to me.
Oh, damn. I didn't mean to bring that up.
No, like I said, it'll take some getting used to, but it'll get better. I hope it will. Things might become a little busier for me, though. She left a lot of things unfinished, and I'm one of the few people in the office who knows how she works. Boss thinks the transition will be easier if I handle it.
That explains it. Well, just don't forget you still need rest. Even the most hardworking people I know don't keep hours as late as this. Hell, the subway stopped running hours ago. Crime rate might be lower here than most places, but that doesn't mean you can walk around freely in the middle of the night.
It's just for today.
Still a good thing you dropped by here first. I'm not just about to let you walk out here alone, especially not in the middle of the night. Who knows what else could happen? I'm not saying you should go right now, but I could accompany you home if you...
No! Wait, please!
The
Vehement?
vehement?
Mm-hmm.
The vehement tension in her voice makes me pause, and it is in this instant the mask she's been keeping up falls apart, if only for a short while. Right then and there, I understood what's hiding behind her unfocused stare from the moment she arrived. Fear. Pure, unadulterated fear. It's disturbing to see such marring her usual upbeat countenance. With a sigh, I cross the small distance separating us and kneel in front of her. She doesn't flinch when I do so. However, the way she appears to make herself smaller against the couch is telling enough.
Bella, this ain't just about your coworker, is it? What is it really about? I'm all ears.
The sound of glass shattering rents through the air as soon as her hold on it loosens. In the span of a few seconds, her breathing grows labored.
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
She claps her hands over her ears, pressing it tightly against the sides of her head. Her voice grows weaker with each word, each plea coming out of her mouth.
Please, please don't leave me alone. I don't want to be alone right now. I can't shake it off. Everywhere's not safe and...
All right, Isabella. Look at me, look at me.
My hands are firm on her shoulder when I pull her up to look at me. It takes every force of will to ignore the terror in her eyes in favor of taking control of the situation. Too close, too similar.
Breathe, breathe. You're safe here. Inhale, hold, exhale. Stay in the present. I'm here. No one's gonna hurt you. Do you want to talk about it?
The force with which she shakes her head is enough reason to drop the topic altogether.
No more. Please, no more. I don't don't want to remember anymore.
Okay, no more talking. I won't ask anymore. Can I get you anything? Another glass of water? I think I have a tub of that pistachio ice cream you love so much. We're gonna have to clean this mess first. Will you be fine on your own for a little while?
She nods slightly before retreating into herself again. No more words are exchanged after that, and I take that as my cue to start cleaning the shards littering the floor before either one of us get hurt. The quiet hum of the AC is a pleasant distraction as I go over the menial task. More so than her ragged dross of bread or my little, feeble attempts to tell a quick story or two. But the latter does the trick. And soon enough, she has already drifted off by the time I return with the promised glass of water, her chest rising and falling in a state of rhythm, the strain of her shoulders gone. Frankly, I've never seen her this still. She mumbles something I don't quite catch when I carry her to the empty bed, and hugs herself tighter against a mess of blankets. In spite of the fact that she appears relaxed, the small frown on her face hasn't quite disappeared. Whatever happened to her won't be leaving her anytime soon. But for her sake, I hope it won't stay long with her. There are still questions left to be answered. But the late hour, coupled with the sudden exhaustion, made my old couch a more comfortable bed than it typically is.
Bruh, you are going to regret that in the morning.
Darkness
October 25th.
Oh. Darkness immediately welcomes me as soon as my head hits my makeshift pillow. I can only wish the dreams will keep at a distance for now. For both of us. Tuesday.
Tuesday, October 25th, a frightened Isabella Santos knocked at Zachary Steele's apartment in the middle of the night. Shaken, she refused to say what happened. Zachary let her stay regardless.
Zachary
Because
is such
he-
a good potato. I love him
Yeah.
so much.
Such a good boy. Such a soft boy.
Such a good cinnamon roll.
So
Very
perfect.
tasty. I mean, what?
Very
true.
tasty.
The first few notes, while muffled, are enough to wake me. In the end, it became one of those nights when sleep passes like a blink and is plagued with vague, fuzzy thoughts. I lift a hand to rub away the drowsiness from my eyes, although it does little to relieve the gritty, burning sensation from my eyelids.
It's the worst feeling.
Yeah. Outside, the sun has yet to peek over the horizon, but night has already given way to the cool morning light, washing everything in subtle gray hues. At this hour, the entire city remains unstirring. Ordinarily, waking up before my own alarm means abusing the snooze button, twice or thrice just to catch those precious few extra minutes of sleep.
He's perfect.
But the persistent ringing makes it impossible now.
This better be good.
Groggily, I scramble for the bag sitting at the foot of the bed. The ringing still hasn't stopped, even as I fish the phone out, and Ashton's name flashes brightly on the screen when I turn it on.
Of course.
Must be pretty urgent if he hasn't dropped the call yet.
Took you long enough, Z-Man.
Ashton, it's 6 in the morning. Sun hasn't even risen. Hell, my
Same.
brain ain't even awake yet.
Relatable as fuck.
Stop calling me Z-Man.
It's 20 past 6, Zach.
You wanna
Whoa, what a
talk?
difference.
Give me back my 5 extra minutes, Ash. I want my sleep.
Hey, don't make fun of me. I can be a more person too if I want to.
What's this all really about? You don't usually make calls around this hour. Is the world ending today?
What about that?
Probably about that.
Maybe.
Becca rang me up a few minutes ago looking for Isabella. Said she didn't show up in her own apartment last night. We both tried calling, but her phone seems to be off. Do you have any idea where...
I should have known you two would come looking for her first thing in the morning.
Not a laughing matter, Zach. You can't really let your guard down with everything that's happened here recently. You've heard about the Cooper one from the news. Everyone in the precinct has been restless ever since the incident the other day.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Listen, Ash, about Bella.
I let my voice trail off, unsure of how to go about recounting last night. If I should even say anything to him. He might be a close friend, but at the end of the day, whatever's bothering her ain't mine to speak of in the first place. On the bed, Isabella remains as still as when I transferred her the night before. Sometime during her sleep, she pulls up a blanket over herself and tucks into it comfortable. Like this, it's easy to forget the horror in her eyes, or how much her hands and lips tremble. Save for her firm grip on the edge of the covers, she appears nearly as normal as she would any other day. Almost.
I'm not really sure how to go about this while being...
Zach, what about her?
Something, the worry, the concern, must have surfaced in my tone, because his own shifts then. Carefully, as if he's preparing for the worst.
Look, you don't have to worry about her. She's with me right now. Since last night, in fact.
Oh, why didn't you just say so earlier?
She kinda knocked in the middle of the night. I couldn't possibly wake you two over that. And with how things are when she arrived, I thought it'd be best if I let her rest first. I just wasn't expecting people would be looking for her before the rooster even crows.
You could have at least called her something. Becca's beside herself with worry when she found out. You know how much she frets about the smallest stuff.
I know. I'm sorry. That was a lapse on my part. And I just didn't think... Okay, you know what? Rebecca's worries ain't completely baseless. Isabella hasn't been her usual self since the movie. Maybe even before that. I don't know if I should be opening my mouth about this, but Bella didn't outright say I shouldn't, so...
So something's wrong then?
I'm not quite sure, to be completely honest. I couldn't get the story out of her.
Really? I thought you'd learned something from me by now.
That's not it. Ash, when she appeared at my doorstep last night, she was shaking, and when I tried to ask her about it, she just panicked. Had this frightened look on her face. I'd be surprised if this was the first time I've seen it, but it ain't. Dude, the first time, she was screaming.
First time? When was this? You weren't talking about the thing in the movie house, are you? Because that was just us fooling around. Granted, I think I went overboard with the joke, but...
No, it happened the day after. When she invited us to lunch, you weren't there. We were walking one second, and then the next, she's crying out. I'll be straight with you. That scared me shitless.
It bothered him, if the way that he falls silent after his story. But wherever his opinion is, stays absent from his voice when he speaks again. He's always been good with that, hiding what he thinks.
Did she say anything else?
Nothing. Won't tell me anything aside from a few vague words. I didn't want to push it.
Where is she? Is she still sleeping?
Right here with me. Still sleeping. Should I wake her up or something? Let her know you guys are looking for her?
No need. Let her rest. I'll drop by in a few.
Today? Don't you have work at this time? I mean, I can drop her off home myself before meeting my client later.
Look who's talking.
My schedule's flexible, Ash. Last time I checked, you're the one who didn't have that luxury. How on earth do you think I'm able to tag along when you need me?
It's not completely out of the way.
They live on the other side of the town from you, Ash. Your definition of out of the way is a little screwed up, you know.
It's fine. I have some things I need to do anyway. I'll call you back. I've got to let Becca know that Scared Cat's fine. Bye.
And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's going faster now, so I better pick up the pace. I break out into a full run to follow him. He definitely knows I'm there now, but it doesn't matter. I have bigger legs, so I'm gonna catch up sooner or later. Have you tried chasing cats? You may have bigger legs, but they are sprightly things. And we're clunky humans. I'm a pretty good runner. I finally close the gap between us. Suddenly, the cat screeches to a halt and jerks around to face me. Avery, stop it! Okay. Why are you chasing me? Because you got out. But what am I saying? What are you saying? How are you saying? It's me. Me? Hayes? Hey, Hayes. Last I checked, Hayes was a guy with glasses. You didn't seem like the pranking type, Hayes. The Hayes cat is puffing up like a dusting brush. I feel bad that this cat's getting caught up in whatever shenanigans they're trying to put me through right now. This seems like it should be against work procedure. He's telling the truth, Avery. The voice comes from behind me. I whirl around to see Landry, but he's not there. Down here.